Welcome to Afghannews with Mohsen Jamal. Norway on Thursday said it would restore contributions to the Afghanistan Reconstruction Trust Fund nearly 2 months after it announced a freeze on aid over corruption. The country will give up to $51.6 million in aid to ARTF this year, the Foreign Ministry said in a statement. Like other contributors to the fund, Oslo on September 6 said it would withhold payments until the International Monetary Fund and Afghan authorities reached an agreement resolving the crisis plaguing Kabul Bank. Norway's Foreign Ministry said on Thursday that Afghan authorities had satisfied several of the demands from donors and especially the IMF, which had asked for the bank to be recapitalized. Other demands included legal proceedings against those involved in corruption, that the embezzled money be returned, and that an audit be carried out at another bank where irregularities may have occurred. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Thursday urged Pakistan to eliminate the safe havens along its porous border with Afghanistan. During testimony before the House Foreign Affairs Committee nearly 1 week after she visited Islamabad, Clinton said that Pakistan's civilian and military leadership must join the United States in squeezing the Haqqani network from both sides of the border and in closing safe havens. Clinton added she explained that trying to distinguish between so-called good terrorists and bad terrorists is ultimately self-defeating and dangerous. No one who targets innocent civilians of any nationality should be tolerated or protected. Meanwhile, a U.S. drone strike on Thursday killed 5 commanders of a powerful Pakistani Taliban faction that attacks Western forces in Afghanistan, one of the group's leaders has said.
Must join us in squeezing the Haqqani network from both sides.
Germany is to continue aid to Afghanistan beyond 2014 when its troops are scheduled to leave, Chancellor Angela Merkel said in Berlin on Thursday after visiting NATO Secretary General Anders Fogh Rasmussen. Merkel added they agreed that their responsibility for Afghanistan will not end after the withdrawal of fighting troops, and Germany would continue to fund training of Afghan security forces. Rasmussen also said NATO would not turn its back on Afghanistan. Germany is set to host a conference on Afghans on the future of their country at the start of December. Merkel said the conference in Bonn would be an opportunity to discuss jobs that still have to be done, adding that she and Rasmussen agreed Afghanistan was on a sensible path even if there is a great deal still to be done. Rasmussen said the withdrawal timetable was firm, but support beyond 2014 was important for the whole region.
And as regards
Pakistani security forces and insurgents appear to be collaborating in some cross-border attacks in Afghanistan, a top-ranking U.S. military commander in the war-torn country has said. The deputy U.S. military commander in Afghanistan, Lieutenant General Curtis Scaparotti, told Pentagon reporters that there were indications of collaboration between Pakistani security forces and militants in fighting in southern Afghanistan's Paktika province. General Scaparotti said that they talk very bluntly with their Pakistan counterparts about this, which has helped in recent weeks. But he also expressed a specific concern about Pakistan's frontier corps of local conscripts along the border in their collaboration with insurgents. Meanwhile, Scaparotti said he was trying to mend strained ties with the Pakistani military in the wake of the unilateral U.S. raid that had killed Osama bin Laden at his lair in Abbottabad on May 2nd. An Afghan interpreter was killed and 8 other people wounded in a Taliban attack on a U.S.-run base in the southern Afghan city of Kandahar, NATO said Friday. 4 attackers were killed in the assault on the civilian military base housing the local provincial reconstruction team in what was the Taliban capital before the 2001 U.S.-led invasion ousted the militia from power. Armed with guns, explosives, and rocket-propelled grenades, the attackers opened fire from an empty building near the compound. In keeping with policy, it did not announce the nationalities of the wounded troops from NATO's International Security Stance Force, but the base is run by the American military. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack, which took around 4 hours for troops to repel, saying the gunmen were armed with suicide vests. Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah has appointed Prince Naif bin Abdulaziz, the current interim minister, as his new heir. He succeeds Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz, who died last week in New York City and was buried on Tuesday in the capital Riyadh. The royal court statement read out on state television early on Friday in the words in the world's top oil exporter, said the Crown Prince had been appointed after the King made the Allegiance Council, a family body set up in 2006 to make the process of succession in the conservative Islamic kingdom more orderly. He is said to assume the throne upon the death of Abdullah 87, who is recovering from his third operation to trade back problems in less than a year. Naif 78 was also named Prime Minister in addition to keeping his job as interim minister. The minister, long regarded as deeply conservative, is credited by some with helping stabilize the world's largest oil exporter. The United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to end NATO's no-fly zone over Libya, despite the country's calls for a delay. The 15-member body voted on Thursday to end the no-fly zone in place since March from 11:59 p.m. Libyan time on October 31st. NATO, which carried out their strikes that played a key role in the downfall of Muammar Gaddafi, the former Libyan leader, met on Friday in Brussels to formally declare an end to its 7-month-old air operations. The meeting also discussed new ways to help the National Transitional Council, which is now in control of Libya. Anders Fogh Rasmussen, the NATO Secretary General, confirmed the alliance's decision to end operations in Libya by October 31st. The decision comes as Libya's interim leader Mustafa Abdul Jalil urged NATO to continue its Libya campaign until the end of the year to prevent Gaddafi loyalists from leaving the country. Tunisia's Islamist Al-Nahda party has won elections with 41.5% of votes, toppling of long-term leader Zainal Abidin bin Ali. The party obtained 90 seats in a new 217-member assembly that will rewrite the constitution, appoint a president and form a caretaker government. Elections chief Kamel Jendoubi announced in Tunis on Thursday. The leftist Congress for the Republic was in second place with 13.8%, representing 30 seats, and Etakatul third with 9.7%, representing 21 seats, he said. Meanwhile, the leader of Arida Chabiya Popularist Party, Hashmi Hamdi, announced on national television that he was withdrawing the 19 seats his party won after the Electoral Commission invalidated 6 of its lists. More than 2,000 young people marched on the Sidi Bouzid headquarters of Al-Nahda, the election vector, and pelted security forces with stones after they learned of the list nullification. The French president has said it was a mistake to allow Greece to enter the Eurozone, comments likely to inflame tensions between EU member states just hours after a deal was reached on a bailout plan for Greece. In an interview with French television of the decision to let Greece join the monetary union in 2001, Nicolas Sarkozy said that the Greek economy was not ready to assure its integration into the euro. Nevertheless, world stocks continued to rally on Friday, and the euro jumped to a 7-week high against the dollar after European leaders agreed on a debt deal in Brussels aimed at resolving the 2-year-old eurozone sovereign debt crisis. The plan, announced earlier on Thursday, would increase the eurozone rescue fund to $1.4 trillion, implemented a 50% write-off for private bond holders of Greek debt, and recapitalized the region's banks. European leaders have also raised the idea of asking China, Brazil, and other emerging economies to help overcome the debt crisis. That's all for now. Thanks for joining us.